When I was invited here to preach the novena today, I was given the topic, Our Lady of Hope. So I immediately went to the internet, and I found out that on January 17th, 1871, our Blessed Mother appeared in a small French village. She appeared to 3 or 4 little children. Her message was one of hope. And in the novena, in honor of Our Lady of Hope, we find this beautiful final prayer. But above all, I pray, O dearest Mother, that through your most powerful intercession, my heart may be filled with hope, so that in life's darkest hours, I may never fail to trust in God, my Savior. You know, my dear friends, in all her apparitions, Mary has a message for us. And I think that the message she has for us here is that we trust in her Son, Jesus, that we practice the beautiful virtue of hope. The late Archbishop Fulton J. Sheen used to like to tell the story of the religious nun who every morning came out of her convent and saw a man standing on the corner. He seemed to be sort of down and out, as the expression goes, very sad, very discouraged. And one morning, she took compassion on him. And she went over and she pressed a $5 bill into his hand and whispered, "Never despair, never despair." The next day, she saw him again. And as she passed by him, he pressed into her hand a $100 bill. And she said, "What's this supposed to mean?" And he said, "Well, sister, it means that Never Despair came in first in the 5th race and paid 20-1. You know, folks, Bishop Sheen's message is my message. And I believe it is the message of our Blessed Mother. You see, the opposite of hope is despair. Let us never despair. No matter how bad our suffering seems to get, no matter how bad things seem to be going, let us never despair. Let us never lose hope. You know, hope is based on trust. They tell the somewhat true story here of a man who needed some money to pay his income tax, so he decided to rob a store. He went in at night, and he's now ready to rob the safe. And on the safe door, he was very pleased to find a note reading, "Please don't use dynamite. The safe is not locked. Just turn the knob." And he did so. And immediately, a heavy sandbag fell on him. The entire premises was floodlighted, and alarms started to go off. And as the police carried him out on a stretcher, he was heard moaning, "You know, you can't trust anyone anymore." But folks, there is someone that we can trust. And you know, I'm going to tell you that that someone is Jesus. It is our Blessed Mother. We can trust them. In fact, we must trust them. We must trust them completely if we are ever to experience peace of mind and heart in the midst of our sufferings. Here's one of my favorite stories that I did share with you many, many years ago. It's the story of the big turtle and the little turtle. One day, a big turtle and a little turtle were walking along the street, and they decided to go into a drugstore for a soda. And as the soda was put before them, it started to rain. And the big turtle said to the little turtle, "It's starting to rain. Why don't you go home and get the umbrella?" And the little turtle said, "I'm not going to go home and get the umbrella. If I do," he said, "you're going to drink my soda." And the big turtle said, "Look, I promise not to touch your soda." He said, "You promise?" The big turtle said, "Trust me, I promise I will not touch your soda." So the little turtle went. big turtle waited 1 hour, 2 hours, 1 day, 2 days. Finally, the big turtle said to himself, he's probably never coming back. I might as well drink his soda. And as he went to get the soda, the little turtle stuck his head into the door and said, if you touch my soda, I'm not going to go home and get the umbrella. Please pardon the analogy. Jesus is like the big turtle. We are like the little turtle. And Jesus says to us, hey, trust me. You are more important to me, more precious to me than many sparrows. I will take care of you. I will take care of you. I will take care of your loved ones. Trust me, I promise. But folks, could it be at times we're like that little turtle? That we're tempted not to trust Jesus, at least not to trust him completely? And as I say, we must trust him completely. You know, today we're talking about hope. I like to tell you what I hope for the most. I hope for the kingdom of heaven. You know, even if you're not Irish, you know about leprechauns. And the big thing about leprechauns is that they love gold. And everyone knows that they believe that the gold in Irish tradition is in pots that lie at the end of the rainbow. Now, folks, I don't think that gold is found at the end of the rainbow, but happiness is. I think the rainbow is a natural symbol of hope, promising that blue skies will come after the rain, that joy will follow after sorrow. I mean, this concept of hope comes from the rainbow, from the Old Testament, from the covenant that God made with Noah. So I do believe that there is no better symbol of hope than the rainbow. In the motion picture, The Wizard of Oz, you might recall that Judy Garland sings the song, Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Now, I said that what I hope for the most is the kingdom of heaven. I ask if you listen to the words of that song and think about it in the concept of heaven, I think you'll understand what I'm saying. So here are some of the lyrics. I'm not going to sing it for you. I will spare you that agony. But listen, think about heaven. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come through. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops, away from the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. Hey, folks, I love that song. I know that someday I am going to die, and I'm going to wake up where the skies are blue, where the dreams that I dare to dream really will come true, that I'm going to wake up in a place where the troubles will melt like lemon drops. That will mean all my suffering, sickness, problems, and worries. It means especially that I will be with loved ones for all eternity. So way above the chimney tops, that's where you will find me. You know, my hope and my prayer is that someday all of us will wake up there. I do leave you with this true story. A priest tells it. He had gone to Disney World with his 2 nephews and his somewhat elderly mother. And even though she didn't really need it, he got a wheelchair for her. He knew that someone in a wheelchair didn't have to wait on a line, that you immediately brought up to the top of the line, went right into the attractions, and anyone that was with that person. And at the end of the day, he was wheeling his mother back to the parking lot. And all of a sudden, he came across a series of steps leading down to it. And unable to find a ramp, he stopped to consider what to do. And at that point, his very impatient mother jumped out of the wheelchair and very briskly ran down the stairs. And of course, the priest was very embarrassed, because everyone was looking at him, especially people who had seen them go to the top of the line. And he thought for a moment, and then he raised his hands and he yelled, "It's a miracle! It's a miracle!" Folks, we're not in Disney World. We are here at the shrine of Our Lady of the Miraculous Medal. I have been coming to this shrine for many, many years, and every time that I come here, I am convinced that miracles take place here. You see, we're talking about hope today. I believe that it is here in this shrine where people find hope. It is in this shrine that people find the inner peace that comes with hope. So as we continue our Mass, let us turn to Mary, Our Lady of Help, and ask her to fill our heart and the hearts of our loved ones with peace and hope.